Noah. The story. Genesis chapter 6, 7, 8 and 9 are the story of Noah and his ark full of animals, the flood and the descent into the sinfulness of humanity. After years, centuries and millenniums of humans continually sinning against God, God became heartbroken and decided to wipe the earth of all life with the great flood and start afresh. God did, however, save one man and his family. That was Noah. Because of this, Noah was declared righteous in the eyes of God and commissioned by him to build an ark. 300 cubits, 137.2 meters long, 30 cubits, 13.72 meters high, and 50 cubits, 22.86 meters wide, made of gopher wood, and to hold a male and female of each kind of animal, 7 pairs of each bird and clean animal, and 2 pairs of each unclean animal. Noah was 600 years old when the flood came. 7 days before, God called Noah to take himself, his family, and all the animals into the ark. After he did, God brought the rain, which lasted 40 days and 40 nights. After 150 days, the water of the great flood started to subside, and the ark, full of Noah, his family, and all the animals, had settled upon the mountains of Ararat. 40 more days later, Noah opened the ark's window and released a raven, at some point after which he sent out a dove who shortly returned to him. Noah waited 7 days and sent the dove again. This time she returned clutching an olive tree branch in her beak, showing to Noah the water was disappearing. Noah waited another week and sent her again. This time the dove did not return to him. He then removed the ark's covering, confirming with his own eyes that the flood was over. Subsequently, God called to Noah and said, "Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and animals and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." Noah and his family and every animal in the ark left after hearing God's command, and following this Noah took one of every bird and clean animal, offering them as a sacrifice to God on the altar he had built, which God accepted and promised to himself. "I will never again curse the ground on account of man, for the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and I will never again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease." God also blessed Noah and his family, plus showed Noah a rainbow as a sign of this everlasting covenant. At some point after the great flood, Noah started farming and planted a vineyard for himself too. Noah made wine from the grapes in his vineyard, and one night Noah got very drunk off his wine and did something shameful in his tent, which his youngest son Ham witnessed, and told his older brothers Shem and Japheth. However, both Shem and Japheth were not interested, and respectively covered their parents with a garment. When Noah sobered up, he cursed Ham and blessed Shem and Japheth, saying, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brothers." He also said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." Noah lived 350 years after the great flood, and died aged 950, and Noah's son Shem would continue the family line leading to Jesus. Digging deeper. The first interesting point is the seemingly different accounts of the number of animals Noah was commanded to bring with him in the ark. In Genesis chapter 6 verse 19 and chapter 7 verses 2 and 3, Genesis chapter 6 verse 19 states, "And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every kind into the ark, to keep them alive with you, they shall be male and female." Genesis chapter 7 verses 2 and 3 states, "You shall take with you of every clean animal by 7s a male and his female, and of the animals that are not clean 2, a male and his female. Also of the birds of the sky by 7s male and female, to keep offspring alive on the face of all the earth." Why the difference? Is it a mistranslation? After looking at what others say, I and they believe neither. The reason for bringing animals onto the ark was to keep all species alive. Yet why 7 for clean animals? The clean is looking forward to the laws of Moses, where God commanded what animals the Israelites could and couldn't eat, found in Leviticus chapter 11. Another reason is for sacrifices, detailed in Leviticus chapter 4 to 5 verses 13, and chapters 6 verses 24 to 30, as these kinds of animals were used. It seems God commanded Noah to bring clean animals in their sevens and unclean in their twos, because the clean animals had more uses than just keeping the species alive. Most animals aren't clean, most are in their twos, and chapter 6 is not as specific. Another interesting development that comes from the story of Noah is the command God gave to Noah, his family, and to all humanity and animals moving forward, the allowance to eat meat, recorded in Genesis chapter 9 verse 3. Every moving thing that is alive shall be food for you. I give all to you, as I gave the green plants. Before, in the days of Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, God did not allow them to eat meat. At the beginning of creation, God only allowed humans and animals to eat fruits and vegetables and anything else that grows in the ground, on trees or other plants. The final interesting point is the curse Noah placed on his son Ham. The curse was more directed at Ham's son Canaan. It said that he and his descendants would serve the descendants of Shem and Japheth. This name Canaan may sound familiar. That's because some of his descendants would become the Canaanites, along with the Jebusites, the Amorites, and the Hittites. 4 of the 6 nations God commanded Moses to take the Israelites to in Exodus chapter 3 verse 17. Another descendant of Ham is Nimrod, the son of Cush, who helped establish Babel, the city that built the Tower of Babel in Genesis chapter 11, and a city that would evolve into Babylon, mentioned in both the Old and New Testaments, and seen as the catalyst for sinful rebellion against God. Nimrod also helps found Assyria, mentioned in Isaiah and 2 Kings, who were known for their brutality and cruelty, and also Nineveh, seen in Jonah and Naaman, known for the same behaviour. All this fulfilling Noah's curse on Ham. What to learn? What should we take away from the story of Noah in Genesis chapter 6 to 9? I believe the story teaches us about sin's negative effects on others and ourselves. The story begins by showing the negative effects of sin on others, more specifically God. It recalls God being heartbroken at the sin of man. Chapter 6 verse 6. The Lord was sorry that he had made man on earth, and he was grieved in his heart. Yet God wasn't the only one to suffer from man's sinful nature, but humanity itself. This continued sinfulness led to God wiping almost all life from the earth. The story ends with another descent into sinfulness. Noah's youngest son Ham spies on his father and tells his brothers Shem and Japheth, after seeing him in a vulnerable position. Noah got into after getting drunk with his own wine. Noah's overindulgence and Ham's nosiness caused each to sin and caused division between the family. Ham and his descendants to be cursed and Noah to be shamed, all suffering from each other's sinfulness. However, in between these two stories are God's redemption. Despite God's desire to wipe all life from the earth, he saved one man and his family to keep humanity alive, showing his true merciful character. Even though the family he saved sinned as well, he used them and a descendant of one of them, Shem, to bring his ultimate redemption, Jesus. Today if we mess up, Jesus is here to redeem us from our failures and give us life with him in the age to come.